Welcome to day 2 of the Journey Holiday Trends Mini launch party. I am Nicole Westervelt, General Manager of FSJ, and I am back in the studio with George helping out, and of course Laura is here as well. I'm going to say hi to Laura.
Hi everybody, thanks for joining us again this afternoon.
So we have some super fun things planned for you guys today, and I'm hoping that I can do Kim proud. Kim, are you watching in China? Kim, are you out there? Okay, well, we have some really fun things planned all around Thanksgiving. And I know it's kind of crazy because, again, it's I think it's only 107 here today in Phoenix, and we're talking Thanksgiving, but I have to say, I absolutely love the fall. I love the fall, I love the colors, I love the food, I love everything about it, and I tend to host Thanksgiving. And so what we're going to do today is just some fun little project ideas that you can incorporate perhaps into your Thanksgiving feast, whether you're gathering with family, friends, or a little bit of both. So let's jump in. So the first thing we're going to do is pull in our Martha's Pumpkins stamp set. Now this one has been ridiculously popular. This was available for pre-sale for our coaches and did really well, and I've also seen of the last 2 days it's been selling really well as well, so I know you guys are loving it. So let's go ahead and just stamp out the big one here, and what we're working on, to give you a little sneak peek, is the creation of a napkin ring. So there are so many ideas out there for Thanksgiving tablescapes, and so we try to keep it a little bit simple here and just focus on a couple of key handcrafted elements. So we're just we're just stamping out that big pumpkin. Now you guys know that I am not a master colorer like my colleague Shannon, so I tend to do the color splash pencils versus the color burst because they're a little bit more, I find them to be a little bit more forgiving. So we're going to go ahead and color this guy. These are our color splash pencils, and you know because there's the little blue strip there. And just super fun, lightly coloring this in. Shannon has taught me to start with the lighter colors first. Everyone has a different way of doing things, but that's, again, she's our master colorer on staff, and that's what she's taught me. So, and she's also taught me that when you use circles to color versus lines, you get, or like, you know, more jagged edges, you get a lot softer of a look, which helps when you're going to blend, because we're going to add color to this in a few minutes. So just kind of filling in this pumpkin, and I know this is the most boring thing probably to watch, but I have to tell you guys, I find it very therapeutic. I do. And I've heard a lot of you guys say that you bring your stamped images on planes or to Starbucks or to your children's perhaps sporting events and just kind of sit there and color. I think that is such a cool idea. So I'm going to go back in now and just kind of add different layers of this to create depths of color, okay? I won't do the whole thing because I really don't want to bore you all, but building color in such a way that leaves a little bit lighter in the middle as if the sun or the light was reflecting on that middle part, okay? And I don't know, you may want to know what pencils I'm using, and I can tell you in a minute, but just kind of building the color, just like Shannon taught me, hopefully. How we doing, Laura? We have anybody watching us?
We do. We've got quite a few. I just asked them where their favorite place or where they have found themselves coloring before, and we haven't gotten any responses quite yet, but Nicole did want to share that it's National Coloring Book Day.
You're kidding me.
No. So apparently it's a really great day to bring out those pencils, and that is starting to look beautiful.
Fun. So you see what I'm doing there? I would obviously do this across the whole pumpkin, and I'm just kind of doing it on this one main piece just to kind of show you. And again, these are our splash pencils, so this is how these are the ones then where you would add the water to blend them. You could of course do this with our color burst as well, but then just kind of starting with the center and bringing it out, because you want to bring your lighter colors into your dark. If you do it the other way around, you will be bringing some of those dark colors into the light, and that will kind of ruin the effect that you're trying to create here. So of course I say that and then I just did it, but you do what I say, not what I do. How about that? I'm a mom, can you tell? So see how that just blends so easily? And you guys know I'm not a master colorer, and it looks just so pretty. So that's going to be the focal point of our napkin ring, but we need something to hold it, and so for that I'm going to introduce this guy. Now, I've seen a lot of you have scooped this one up. This was launched in our big catalog. This is what we call our paper fan die. Now, you might look at this and say, what in the heck does that do? Well, I'm so glad you asked. I will show you. So what we do with this is we create big rosettes. So George, if you could bring me to the center camera, that would be awesome. So many of you may have tuned into the FSJ Live and have seen this little centerpiece that Kim did on that. But see this little cute rosette? This is what this guy creates. And it's created by essentially cutting 4 of these out and then just doing like you were a kid and folding them back and forth and then gluing them together. But this isn't the only size you can do. You can do other sizes as well, and I want to show you that. So what we have done now is, again, if you cut it out just normal, it's going to be this size and create that big rosette that we just saw. But you can also cut them down to create smaller rosettes. So in this case, we cut this guy down, cut it out of the die, and then just lopped off what is this, about an inch and a half to make this a 2-inch rosette. And then we kind of harken back to our youth where we used to fold. So do you guys remember doing that? Making fans, or remember those letters or those stories you used to do? Did you do this, Laura, where you'd like write a line and then you'd fold the paper? Am I too old? Laura's looking at me. What are you talking about?
I definitely did that and pass them as notes too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you throw them to your classmates and hope that your teacher doesn't
Yeah, make sure the
doesn't
teacher
notice.
doesn't see you,
Yeah.
for sure. So we've already kind of pre-folded these ones up as well. And then we go about gluing them together. Now, I have found, and we always pretty much around here on the Journey Station use for things like this our white glue, because it really is such a good adhesive and it dries fairly quickly and it just creates such a good bond. Now, putting these together can be a little bit tricky. This one, pretty easy to do, right? But when you have to add that extra one, it gets a little bit trickier, and I want to show you. Now, the problem here is that if I get too excited, it's going to pop apart. So I'm going to bring in, you guys have these, our little jumbo clips? I'm going to bring that, hold that in place while I do these other ends. See, it's going to want to do that, and that's okay. Just let it do it. Just let it be. And here, connect these two. See what I'm doing? Just gluing it right in. And then, boy, I sure wish I had more clothespins with me. Dag nabbit. And then you're going to want to bring this around. And again, it's going to want to pop up, and that's okay. Just let it, because once we get it all connected and dried, we're going to show it who's boss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one down and let it dry for just a second. Rather than try to rush it for the sake of television, because we have a couple other fun pieces, I'm going to set that aside. So you see how it looks right there, right? I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to let that dry for just a second, and I'm going to introduce another element, which is our place card. We're also going to create place cards that are going to match our cute napkin rings. So this is easy peasy. This is just an A2 card front, and I just fold that in half. And if you are the type of people that have friends or family members that, you know, maybe don't want to sit with other family members, place cards are always good to give people assigned seats so that they know where they're sitting next to. It's also fun to shake it up. So if you want to have people, you know, sit next to different people than they normally do, that's fun too. So again, using this Martha's Pumpkin set, I'm going to stamp out a couple of these pumpkins. I'm going to do the funky little flowery one here in black licorice. And I'm going to do the smaller little guy in our green olive. And we do, I believe we have a matching die for that, don't we, Laura? We have a matching die for this set.
For Martha's Pumpkins, we do. I just shared the SKU number for it too.
Perfect. So then you will just cut these guys out. Now for this guy, you can certainly color just like we did before, or you can try something a little bit different. It's really up to you. For this one, we had some fun with this by kind of coloring these, I guess I'll call them mosaics kind of pieces with different colors and just kind of blending that together. So again, whatever you like, whatever gives you therapy for coloring, but kind of color that in, and then you can of course go back through and blend those colors together and kind of create something very pretty and something very fall-like. And we're also going to introduce the following prints. Now Kim showed these off yesterday, and they are following because they have, we got the plastic on them, they have fall prints and Halloween prints. So we are going to pull some of these gorgeous prints, and some of these even, again, I think you guys talked about this yesterday too, could be used year round. I love this one. This one is my favorite. But just kind of layering some of that up, and that's our way to pull this whole thing together. and also showing off the neon sign, which you might say that's odd choice, but it gives a nice little platform here to write someone's name. So I'm going to show you what that finished place card looks like. And again, this is it. Super simple, right? Bringing in those pumpkins, bringing in that pattern paper. We also have our gorgeous holiday sparkles on there. Those are going to be a must-have. But you could do any of these different colors, any of these different pattern papers, or color the pumpkins any different color based on your decor or how you're going to set up your table. Okay, so that's the place card. Now let's go back and see how our paper fan is drying. I hope that it's dry enough for me to manhandle it or woman handle it or whatever. How do I do this now? I want to go this way. This way? This way? Oh geez, here we go. Yes. So Shannon showed me the trick and I promptly forgot it. So we're going to do it this way and hope that it works. So there we go. And you kind of just need to hold it down. Now we have found that putting a foam square on the back just to kind of hold it in place works really well. And then, don't tell, but we a lot of times come back with a hot glue gun and drop some hot glue right there in the center too. That makes it like nice and sturdy. But we always come back and apply some type of a circle or something or some type of a shape to really give it some structure. And so for that, we're going to introduce this. Just cut this out of Journey Circles. Okay, this green olive circle, and I'll do it on the back side as well. Again, just give it a little bit more structure. There you go. Okay. And then I would bring in, I'd cut out my cute little Martha's pumpkin and put that right on top. And then do you guys want to see what it looks like when it's all said and done? This is our cute napkin ring. Isn't that fun? And again, guys, with all of those fun printed papers, you can do any which color combination that works for you and for your tablescape. And all of our papers are two-sided, so you can use whichever side suits your table decor the best. So, and again, just made a little ring out of our cardstock. It is really strong, so this isn't something you need to worry about it falling apart or tearing. You want to be somewhat gentle with it, but it's pretty tough. So that is part one of our tablescape, and now I'm going to show you something else that's super fun. Now, I believe that Deegan, our photographer, said that this project, what did she say? Oh, you're going to eat it up. I can't take credit for that joke, but you are going to eat it up, and we are going to be using this. Now, many of you have picked this up as well. This launched in our big catalog, and it is a new must-have. People are loving this, and for good reason. This is our triangle treat die. Now, I've seen so many creative uses with it, and we are going to do one here as well that we will also incorporate into our tablescape, and that is using it a little bit of a different way. So if you cut it out normally, if you just run it through, this is with our pumpkin bread paper, it's going to be, gosh, I don't know my measurements. Oh, look, there happens to be something here. I think it's about 3 inches or something like that, which is a nice size if you're making slices of cake or something like that. But we're not making a slice of cake. We're making a slice of pumpkin pie. And pumpkin pie tends to be a little bit skinnier. So what we did here is ran this through our trimmer and just lopped off a couple of those scallops to create a piece that was this size. See that? Now the cool part is that our ends, which we cut out, when we cut them out, they look like this. You do have to run it through twice. This piece you run through twice to create your top and your bottom, unless you have something bottomless, but we want to put treats in ours, so top and a bottom. The beauty is that you can cut this down, and these pieces don't really need to be adjusted at all. They still work with the strip. So for that, we took our pieces here, and I already creased them up, so when they run through the machine, it'll create some nice little score lines. And we're going to just kind of wrap this piece around. Again, using the white glue, it is the best adhesive for this. And start to build your piece of pumpkin pie. Do you like pumpkin pie, Laura? Are you a pumpkin pie person?
I do. In fact, I am still wearing my shirt. It's a tank top, so it still fits for the summer, and it says pumpkin spice everything on it, really large in the front of it. I am so okay with wearing that all year round. I love pumpkin everything.
Are you a pumpkin, is it PSL, pumpkin spice latte girl?
Yes, absolutely. That's my favorite thing when it's pumpkin spice latte season.
I love the idea of pumpkin, but I actually don't like the taste of it at all. Am I supposed to say that? I'm probably not supposed to say that, am I?
That's okay. I admitted yesterday that I'm not a big fan of Halloween. So.
I saw that, and I was gasping at my
Let's just go ahead and throw it
desk.
all out there, right?
And I was also like, oh, dude, she is in for it when Elliot gets older. Halloween is a fun time, but it is a little creepy. I know you're not alone in that. I think if people had to kind of rate that, I think that might be one of the more polarizing, let's call it, holidays. Okay, so you see what I did here, right? I created this cute little piece. Now again, I'm bringing in my clothespin to kind of pinch off this front. You don't have to do that, but if you want to create really a nice tight seal, then that's the way to go. But now a pumpkin pie isn't a pumpkin pie without a good crust. So when we ran this through again with, this is buttercream, I believe, and just did this little piece here and then trimmed it down to make the nice perfect size crust. But I don't know about you guys, but in my family, my crust does not look this uniform. I tend to have a little bit of darker edges. And so for that, we're going to just bring in a little bit of color here to kind of darken these edges up, as if it just came out of the oven. We always have fights is an exaggeration, debates about which pies, cheesecakes, whatever, to make on Thanksgiving. And my husband is always a fan of pecan, as am I. But we always feel like you have to make pumpkin, even if only 1 or 2 people in the family eat it. But now I will know that I can bring my leftover pumpkin pie to you, Laura. So.
Absolutely. I will eat all of it and not have any embarrassment whatsoever.
Totally okay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the crust on here. And stick that guy on there. And you could do a little browning of your crust on the back too if you're so inclined. And then here's the magic, guys. This is a triangle treat box. So I'm only going to put glue on this hinge part of the piece of pie. I'll sneak it in there. Well, I probably should have done this first, huh? Yeah, I probably did that out of order, but you get what I'm trying to do here, right? There we go. Put it in there. Look at that. And then we have this perfectly adorable pumpkin pie treat box. And I'm going to let that dry for a sec. Now, as we like to say around here, no project is complete without Journey Glaze and Journey Silk. So probably would put a little bit, this is our dark roast silk, kind of splatter that on to give it a little bit of texture. And I'm going to be careful that I don't end up on everything. But, you know, you kind of work it around. You'd probably be smarter to silk it actually before you assemble it, but, you know, either way works. And then we can't have pumpkin pie without a dollop of whipped cream. So check these out, you guys. So these are, I think these are Armedia flowers. Boop. Look how cute. Isn't that fun? Okay, so are you eating it up? Good joke, Deegan. Good joke. So let me bring it all together. So, oh, and I did want to show you this too, because this is super fun. So when we were testing this, we were kind of joking that if you like to eat pumpkin cake, then this would be your size. This is the full size, right? So this is all 5 of the scallops. And I've seen a lot of you make cake out of this. It's just so cute. You could put some strips of filling, whatever. If you like pumpkin cheesecake, then you go here with the 4 scallops. And then if you're more of a traditional pumpkin pie, you do it like we did here with the 3. Isn't that fun? Okay, so let me bring it all together. So let's pretend we're setting our table up for Thanksgiving dinner. And I am someone who, you guys might be different than I can't afford to, nor do I have room to store placemats for every season, every holiday. So I tend to buy very neutral ones, and then I use my napkins or my little decor pieces to kind of tell the story. So here we are. We have our little gold charger, super fun. Gotta remember how to set a table. It's been a while. We tend to be a lot more casual. So look how cute. And then let's bring that napkin ring back in. Slide that through here. Look, guys, isn't that cute? Look how fun. And then we have our pumpkin pie. Now we were discussing, do we put the pumpkin pie in the middle and kind of this on the side? I don't know. Bring in our little placemat thing here, or a place card here. Isn't that fun? And guys, guess what's in here? Oh, wait for it, candy corn. Now you could put like mints would probably be more appropriate, but we are candy corn junkies in our house, and so that's what we would be filling ours with. But look, isn't that fun? Now, one more thing. What happens, you eat your dinner and you're all full and you have lots of leftovers. So for that, I wanted to show you this other piece, and this is our Chinese takeout box. Now we have tons of these new, and they are food safe, or food grade, I don't know what the right term is, but perfect. And this one is really solid. So how fun would this be, whether you're doing leftovers in it or whether you're just doing kind of a takeaway treat in it? Incorporating some of the papers from the tablescape to make this cute tag. This is from our Friendsgiving set, or excuse me, our Gather Together set. It happens to say Happy Friendsgiving. Oh my gosh, how cute. But just stamped out. Create a cute little tag, and then you could throw some leftovers. I could see this with some yummy mashed potatoes in it, or some stuffing. My mother-in-law has the best stuffing recipe, so if you're looking for a good one, let me know. But isn't that fun? That kind of completes the whole ensemble and kind of completes your whole Thanksgiving feast. What do you think? Some fun? What do you think, Laura? How are they liking it?
So cool. They like it a lot. There's a lot of cute and likes and loves flying around the computer screen. I love seeing you guys get a kick out of these projects, and we can't wait to see what else you come up with too.
Yeah, and I know that one thing that we're trying to do here as well is we're listening to you guys, and you're asking for a lot more project-based things. So that's what we've been having some fun doing and playing with here, because that's what we do here too, and we definitely want to show all the versatility of the fun products in both of our catalogs, our big one as well as our holiday mini. So with that, I will sign off and wish you a very nice evening, and make sure you tune back tomorrow where Shannon's going to wrap up launch day 3 with this gorgeous Christmas themed project. So until then, have a good night.